morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Real Men of Real Estate, hosted by me, Thomas F Chappell Jr. I thank you for joining us for the next hour. We're going to have some fun, some laughs, and some emotions. Speaking about real estate, I'm here with my dear friend and guest of the day, Sharr Williams. It's like Star, ladies and gentlemen. So you just got to remember that. So it's a very unique name. So we want to welcome her to the show. Also want to let you guys know that I am the host and organizer of the Black Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. It is a real estate investment club that is live every third Wednesday of the month. So come and check me out. You can contact me via email, Thomas F. Chappell, Thomas Chappell 33 at yahoo.com, just to spell it for you, THOMAS, C like Charles, H like Harry, A like Apple, P like Paul, P like Paul, E like Edward, L like Larry, 33 at yahoo.com, or you can contact me at 404-844-1828. Once again, that's area code 404-844-1828. So, Sharr, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Thomas. How are you this morning? Fine. Well, this afternoon, rather.
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you showing up. So, look, we're just going to have some fun. It's just you and I, and everybody else don't exist and whatnot. It's going to be an easy peasy, So, the main thing I want you to do is to introduce yourself to the world.
Okay. My name is Sharr Williams. I am here in Riverside, California, the IE. Originally from South Carolina. South Kakalaki is what they call it. By the way of Atlanta, Georgia. And I see you have a 404 number, so I assume that you were in Georgia at some point yourself, huh?
Exactly. I was. Been there for 12 years.
Okay. I was there for like 8 years, so I got around pretty much in Atlanta. And I came out here to California 5 years, going strong. So here I am.
Okay. So now your name is kind of unique. So how did that come about?
Well, Sharr stands for Sharnique, and I just shorten it because I believe a lot of people could not pronounce nor spell it. So I just made it a little easier for people. So I just go by Sharr, and I think that's a little unique for a lot of people as well, so they can remember it. So I think that's what you say rhymes with star, so they can go by that as Sharr.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Let the world know who you are and what did you do before you got into real estate?
Well, what I did before I got into real estate, I was a leasing manager. I leased apartments in Atlanta, Georgia, actually in Lithonia.
Wow.
So I was doing some leasing there, and a coworker of mine, she was actually a realtor. And I asked her, what is that? How do you become a realtor? And she explained it. So it caught my interest, and I started thinking about, okay, well, let me pursue it a little bit more than leasing. So I moved out here to California, ended up getting my real estate license, and actually I'm a dual agent in Atlanta as well. So I actually have my license there. And from there, I am in real estate, and I went from leasing here as well in Huntington Beach and Cerritos, and now I pursued it a little further and ended up getting my license and moving from there. So
you're going to tell me you left the A to come to California. Now, my last residence in the A was Lithonia. Well, no, it was Conyers.
Oh, Conyers. Yeah, I'm familiar with Conyers.
That was my last residence. So you came all the way from Lithonia, and Lithonia was an upcoming city. I haven't been there in a while. I was there a couple of years ago, and it's pretty much still the same. And it really has no change to it, but, I made the transition and came here, and now I'm here doing what I'm doing here. So what pursued you to come to California? What was the actual reason? Was it because of the real estate market, or was it just because you just wanted to be fun in the sun?
Oh, my God.
Come on.
No, I know my daughter, if she's listening, she's going to say, oh, my God, Mom. Well, it was her idea to move to California. So my sons and I and my daughter, we all packed up and left. And I didn't want my daughter here by herself on the West Coast, so I went with her. So we rooted and came out here, and she actually went back to Atlanta.
Wow.
And so I stayed. My sons and I stayed. and I had to make it here. And that's when I went ahead to pursue after we were actually both leasing consultants. Well, I was the leasing manager, she was a consultant, and we were in Huntington Beach working. And so when she left, I decided to stay. I said, you go ahead and go back. I'm going to stay. And went ahead and went into the real estate after that and pursued it from there.
So the leasing game. Talk to me about the leasing game.
Well, just leasing multifamily apartments and mixed use. So just basic apartment leasing with the same rents and collections, and people paying their rent on time and showing apartments and just the simple things of real estate. It's not that complicated in the leasing world.
So what was fascinating that made you say, okay, this is where I'm going to put my energy into?
Well, my energy was more so going into the real estate. I wanted to be more. I wanted to do more than just leasing. I wanted to elevate myself. So I decided to study and go abroad and figure that out. So I self-studied. It took me a year to study. So I did not go to real estate school. So I studied on my own.
Okay.
And it took me a while, and I passed on the first time. Yay for me.
Okay.
So they say California is a little harder state to pass. But I did, so I commend myself for that. And thank you. And from there, I decided to get my license in Atlanta as well, because they're like a reciprocity to different states. And so I got the license in Atlanta, so I can work in both states. So
since you've been here and you got license in Atlanta, what is the most successful part as being a dual agent? Do you find being in Atlanta or being in California more successful?
California for sure, because of the housing prices. The housing market is higher. So it's easier to make more money out here than it will be in Atlanta because the prices start higher. So the market here is more lucrative than it is in Atlanta, Georgia. But Atlanta is rising, so their prices are getting up there. They're getting a little bit more expensive.
Well, I was there when the Olympics came to Atlanta, so I was there back in the day. And the last time I was there when they had Freaknik, so I never knew what Freaknik was.
Oh my gosh, I never went to Freaknik. I didn't do that.
Yeah. And I ended up working for. At the time, it was called Nations Bank. And then B of A bought them out. So, yeah, I was there for a minute. But the transition coming from Atlanta to California, so it wasn't the beach and the sun.
It was not.
And the palm trees
It was
and
not.
all that.
It was just off my daughter. I supported her and her dreams, and I just went for it. So we all just came out just for her. And she, like I said, she left, and we stayed. So obviously now I look back, I'd say, well, I think it was meant for me to stay out here and make a way, through this real estate journey of mine. So.
Okay, so now you are doing property management, and you got your license to become an agent and things of that nature. What's the benefit of doing both?
Well, with property management, since the real estate is a good background to start, the lingo of real estate with the property management, because they do go hand in hand. So it does benefit because you have the leases, you have the terminology, and it's collecting the rent. So with the leasing and property management and real estate, everything goes hand in hand. I try to do everything that's conducive to make sense with my journey. So property management is a good field also to go into. You can manage residential properties. You can manage commercial properties. So, but commercial is a little bit different, but it still goes hand in hand with all of the real estate aspect of it.
Okay. So when now as far as you going into your real estate side with being an agent, how far are you looking to go into that?
Well, I'm looking to go into the brokerage. So I want to become a broker at some point and to start my own company. So I want to actually mentor young aspiring real estate agents coming out of school to be a mentor or coach to young real estate agents so they can know what it is that they are trying to do and understand, because sometimes brokers are they're not accessible. and they're really busy. And I want to be that one to make sure they know what they're doing and to make sure that they understand the real estate and to answer their questions and to mentor and guide them into, being successful.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our first break for the day, and then we're going to come back to speak to Miss Sharr, if you will. Welcome
like
to the
that,
Real Men
Star.
of Real Estate. We'll be back in a minute. Thank you very much.